Hey everyone, hope you all had a great weekend. Thanks for joining me today on December 12th. And as always, we are not financial advisors and everything you see on here is for educational purposes only. Alright, let's get started with the dollar. And the dollar playing out almost how we thought it would be. So like we went down, hit the white fib, pushing back up. But then it dropped back down, which is kind of odd. Technically, if it's the white fib, it should push this should end in green. And this was push Bitcoin back down because Bitcoin did drop, but it had a nice little bounce back this morning. It should technically drop back down. Remember, the fibs are not that great when it comes to the dollar. I still have to do the back testing on it. It plays out amazing in crypto. The dollar not so much. It does really good on gold and silver. But based off our last free update on Monday, we did come back up to the area we mentioned because there's a big gap here and we knew we had to fill that gap. We actually went all the way up to that and then dumped back down. Now we're on a white fib. This should technically end in a green candle. I mean, it technically means temporary up. It did go a little bit higher than that, so technically counts, but I would want to see this to be a green candle for it to like be fulfilled a little bit better, and then it needs to drop back down. And when this drops back down, it's going to push Bitcoin back up. Oops. And like I mentioned last night, we're on a strong reversal fib at 16,869. So as long as we stay above that, it's going to push back up to tomorrow. So if the dollar decides to drop back down to the white fib, that how it has to, this will tell the crypto market to head back up. So this would actually line up together because if Bitcoin closes where it's at now, it should have to push back up. So that's our last update. We did mention that we went up to a strong reversal fib, or Friday, we did land on a strong reversal fib, and I saw it's going down. I mentioned it should stay within this area, which it is right now. We would have to fall below it, and that would actually be breaking the reversal fib for it to actually start pushing back down to the bottom trend line, because right now it's just literally going sideways. Since back over here I mentioned, hey, we should technically touch this trend line again, and I still hold on to that. We need to touch this trend line because anytime we do any kind of like triangle thing, they always bounce off. Sometimes they stay up a little higher and they drop, sometimes they stay a little lower, but they still bounce and they hit like each corner, well, not corner, but like the top and bottom. So I still see us dropping back down to that, even though we it signals tomorrow's going to go up. We've called these each one of these candles play by play, like, hey, you know what, we dropped to here, hey, we have to go back up tomorrow. We went straight back up, came back down, came back up, right? Like here, we knew we were gonna, this green candle, we knew we were gonna come back up. We went up to a strong reversal fib. Guess what? We knew we were gonna come back down. So this might be the same scenario where like, okay, we'll have another green candle, but it will just still be part of the like sideways movement in this area, which we have to close outside of it, kind of like this, but not land on a reversal fib because the reversal fib will push it back in. So we need to land outside of it, close outside, but not be on any reversal fib so it can drop. And that's kind of what I'm looking for right now, because as from what I see now, we're just going to push back up and stay in this green zone here. Let me remove this because we are on a strong reversal fib. So if we want it to finally touch the bottom, we need to break below 16,869 during this candle, or when it prints the next candle, push back down to that, because we do need to push up to that. I do want to buy a little bit lower, but I want to buy when it's on this bottom trend line. I don't want to buy at the top of the trend line. Another thing to note, Rosanna's niece, who's a psychic that's been pretty good lately, she mentioned that we would want to buy before the 18th because it would have like a small little rally until December, I believe she said, or into December. I need to double check that if it's until December, or like if that's gonna like once December, or once, not December, the 25th for Christmas, right? Like once Christmas happens, like do they dump it afterwards, or does it keep going? We need to look into that. Right now, the market is holding pretty well. When I look at everybody else, some of these are, it technically counts as a strong reversal fib at 37.17. H bar strong reversal fib at 0.0465. Algo, it's a little bit off. Rose strong reversal fib at 0.04273. Shiba's not on anything yet, but that's a nice little bounce. But see, this is the bounce I usually don't like, where it's a bunch of red candles and one big candle, and it bounces back too much. Whenever this happens, we have to come back down to here. So if we close this red candle, Shiba will have to come back down to 837. So we got to be careful how this candle closes today. Because every time there's a group of candles and then one big one and it retraces all the way, this is what they call the dead cat bounce, right? It drops, bounces back up, but then comes right back down. Matic, not on anything just yet. Luna, spoken a little too much for my liking, but with Luna, I did mention, like, look, I see us dropping back down a little bit more. If the pattern's still kind of playing out, it's a little sideways. Too bad I can't tilt it like sideways. Make it, like, make this go like this, and then this go like this a little bit, so it's a little sideways. Because then this would still line up with that. We have a little push here. And then I mentioned, like, right here, we're like here. So we would technically need to drop one more time. And this is the time where I said I would buy, because then we do have a chance of it having a nice little breakout. Martha did mention that, I remember reading like a post saying that, Luna C would be one of the good ones that will do really good, really good compared to the rest of them during this little rally. So, that we might be able to use this pattern again like we did last time when it pumped. Right now it's a little bit below it, so it's below this trend line that I mentioned before. Like, hey, if it goes below this trend line, it's going to be in a bad spot and it's going to dump back down, which lines up with that, because I did want to buy one more time for my hodl bag, and then maybe it'll take off. If I look at IoTech on a week reversal fib at 0.022, Atom, it's a little bit off, but it might count. So 9.93. So these numbers that I'm giving you, like, as long as they hold above these prices, it'll push back up tomorrow. Let's see, near 156. So if we close here, tomorrow it's gonna push back up. Let's see, Phantom, week reversal fib at 0.2219. Let's see, AVAX, 1250, week reversal fib. Ethereum's also no week reversal fib at 1240. Let's see, Data, week reversal fib at 0.805. ZIL. Now here's one of the little clues. So ZIL did a white fib, so this means it's gonna do a temporary reversal back up and then drop back down below the white line at 0.2134, so 2 cents. It's crazy to see ZIL back at 2 cents and stuff like that. Let's see. Doge is a little bit off. I don't know if I want to count that. But Doge is one of those ones that does have a, second arrow target, which it needs to technically come back up here. And I can actually see that go like this, and then finally break above. So this is why I kind of believe when Martha says, like, hey, we should have technically a little rally towards the end. I can kind of see that, because again, some coins do have those little targets. I don't think I went over them. IoTech still needs to come back up to 0.022. Near has to come back up to 2.38. Phantom already closed it. Phantom already closed the white fib as well. I don't think I mentioned that last Monday. Technically, Data is going to be one of the biggest ones, because Data has to go to $1.24. ZIL has to go to 0.024. Doge has to come back up to 12 cents. Sol 1887. Dot strong reversal fib at $5. ADA strong reversal fib at 0.30. So it's kind of like how we always talk about Bitcoin's on a strong reversal fib. All the alts are on reversal fib. So this gives it a lot of momentum heading back up. So the alts might do pretty good, but at the same time, it might just be enough to just keep us in the group, like in the little support area. So let me do this. So we could have a green candle, but it might be a green candle like that. You know what I mean? Then maybe we can, then depending on where we go, we can maybe head back down, finally close this bottom, or we will finally break out. Or do we just continue to go sideways until the 18th area, and then it spikes up to the 18,200. So, when I said I saw this happening, kind of like this, and then going sideways and then dropping, that I'm definitely wrong, because it just kept going sideways. So that one is wrong. So now it would be like where it goes like this and then finally goes up, or we finally come back down. So right now I can't really say which way it's going to go because it's not following how I saw it playing out. We do know, that we do have this target at 18,200. We know the second arrow always fails. I was hoping that it would come back up, like it would drop first, do a second retest at the bottom, then come back up, so it'll have more momentum. But for the group, it would be better if we did go up, and we mentioned this before, so that way they can sell, and then it could drop back down for a second retest, and then start pushing back up, or start it like sideways market. But I think that's pretty much it for today. We'll keep the update pretty short. Again, we're just gonna wait to see how we close today. As long as we close above all the numbers I gave out today, we should have a nice green day tomorrow. If we can break out of this support, if we break out of this support upward, we're definitely going to 18,200. If we drop below, then we're definitely going back down to the bottom trend line, which is 16,300 now instead of 16,200. Worst case scenario, we drop back down to the bottom trend line, which is 15,100. But alright, I will see everybody on the Discord. Alright, this is where I do my ads. So if you're already in my group, you guys don't have to watch this part. But if you're someone that's looking to get more information on the market and what's going on, I do have a paid Discord. If I click on the button right here for Ko-Fi, I have a few tiers. My first tier, market outlook videos. This gives you access to all the YouTube videos I do. I only post Monday's update, to the public. I post Tuesday through Friday, which is private. Sometimes I do some on the weekends too, if like the market's going really crazy. Right now, market's been pretty chill, so I just been doing the basic Monday through Friday. From there, the next step up, we have Peace of Mind. And this one gives you the market update videos. It gives you Discord access and signal alerts. And the reason I call this Peace of Mind is because you do get access to all the information that's on the Discord and the market updates. So you can kind of see what's going on with the market. You won't be surprised. Like, oh my God, the market dumped today. Like, yeah, we kind of already saw that. You'll see that in this group. Nobody here is FOMOing. Nobody's here shocked, surprised. Everyone's more calm, relaxed. It's a good little community. We have a bunch of little options that we have here. We post news, what people are buying. We have group zooms, area for hidden gems, ways to do passive income. And this is where I post my daily market updates so everybody can see it. We have a little chat dedicated just for, the cryptos. I do have signal alerts. So I do send out messages on the Signal app. I try to keep it away from like Discord and Telegram because everybody has those and they have a bunch of different rooms. I want to have an app separately that if you get a notification from this app, something big is happening in cryptos, so you get that, you're not surprised, right? I've sent out a bunch of messages before, right before like big dumps have happened, so nobody was surprised, and that's why I call it the Peace of Mind. The next one up is Edge, and the reason I call it Edge is you get the same as before, the market update videos, Discord access, signal alerts, but you also get you can request charts, and you have trading calls, and you have 2 Zoom sessions with me. The Zoom sessions are actually really cool because we can go over, your portfolio, coins that you're interested. Some people just like to be able to vent. We are in a bull bear market. It's been tough, these last couple months. So there's a lot we can do with that. We do have some trade calls where I do post trades there. We have our own little trade little group where it has the actual trade calls, and it has like the chat, so we can go over that. On top of that, we can even request charts. So we have a section over here where members can request certain coins. So let's say you go into another group and they're talking about this coin and it's pumped and you're hyped up and you want to jump into. I can go in there and review that coin to let you know, like, hey, you know what? It still has a lot of potential, or you know what? This looks like it's to the top. I wouldn't get in. And you'll be surprised how many times I've saved people from getting into coins that other people made them FOMO in just because they had a big pump. A lot of people think in a bear market, they think like it's going to still keep pumping and pumping and pumping like it is in a bull market. It doesn't. A lot of times, like, hey, look, this is pretty much done. One of my previous ones was with Atlas. We mentioned, hey, this could be a top. And we were around this area here where I mentioned like, oh, you know what? This is like technically where you want to get out. Oops, little magnets in its way. if I can fix it a little bit. You know, like this is where you would want to get out. Have a buy order at the top in case it breaks through the fib. So, you know, you'll be kicked right back in and you take off with it. But since then, it's dropped about, 25%. This is technically where you would, want to buy back in. And now you just made 25% more. And that's like the beauty of like being able to request those charts. I have another tier, but that one's already full. And that one just gives you more Zoom sessions. Another thing I do offer, if we scroll back down, I do have a trading course that I have. I'm no longer doing the personal one just because I'm booked on a lot of, Zooms and other things. But I do have my video out right now. So let's say, we're going to go into a sideways market. So one of the ways you're going to make a lot of money now is to be able to trade. And even if you're a complete beginner, I go over, real big essentials that you really need to learn, because there's a lot of trade videos out there on YouTube that are free. There's a lot of videos out there to show you how to trade that are paid, and they go up to the thousands of dollars. And one thing I've noticed with a lot of these, they always miss out like little simple things, right? They just pretty much give you like the indicators, the setup, and here, go trade it. But there's a lot more to that, a lot more. So I have that course there if anyone's ever interested. And other than that, that's pretty much it. So I will see you guys in the Discord.